Ever feel like you're stuck in a rut and ready to go from intention to action? Wondering how to take that first step towards your goals? In this video, we're going to dive into how to begin and actually make progress. I'll show you 4 simple but effective steps to start your journey and get results. Keep watching and you'll be doing it in the next 5 minutes. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Erin. As a former tech executive, I now run a business consulting practice working with billion-dollar organizations, and my community time is spent mentoring business students. If this sounds valuable to you, please subscribe and leave me a topic comment below and I'll try to get to it. As always, chapters are included in the description box, so please feel free to jump around to what's most helpful to you. Now let's get moving. The first thing you need to do is hit that pause button and get a pen and paper. I know, old-fashioned, but trust me, it'll be worth it. And this is the very first action, and it's a signal to your brain that you're serious about this, which is a heck of a lot better than just clicking video after video after video and not actually starting. And not starting will just make you feel bad later. Let's get going. Pause the video now and go grab those 2 items. Great, welcome back. First things first, really quickly, in 30 seconds or less, write down what you want, that thing that you've been putting off, the reason that you're here on this video and why you want it. 30 seconds, ready, set, go. Got it captured? Let's get into step 1. Define your why. I've talked about this before and I'll leave a link to that video here. Defining your why is a really critical pre-starter step. And while your why can be material things, travel, money, a certain lifestyle, that isn't sustainable in the long run. If you've written that down, that's totally okay. But I encourage you to have a think about what is the thing that's a little bit beyond the material side of things, because that'll be more sustainable in the long run. For example, maybe it's health later in life or something that you want to do for your communities that you belong to. Maybe it's a selfish want. I want to love my body more. The whys that touch that deeper part of you are typically much stronger in the long run than the more material ones. One caveat, if you don't feel solid about your why right now, that's okay. Just jot something down and let's keep moving. Action is what's going to see this through. Let's go to step 2, and you can always refine your why later. Just don't overthink it. Now, this is the beginning of your 1-pager. Throughout this video, each of the 4 steps will have a real life example from my life so that you can kind of see what a full filled out 1-pager will look like. Now, you may not know this, but I'm really camera shy, and if you've seen my first few videos, you'll be able to see that. Starting this channel wasn't about me wanting to become a YouTuber. Therefore, my why thought process looks something like this. I've been mentoring colleagues in business as well as university students for a number of years. And while most executives will have 1, maybe 2 mentees at a time, I found myself at one point mentoring seven colleagues plus a couple of students at the university near my house. And I loved seeing the aha moments, and it was so fulfilling, but it was taking a lot of my time. So I asked myself how I could do this at scale. This resulted in thinking about how I use YouTube today. I use it for things like how not to kill my houseplants. And so here I am, because my desire to help others is stronger than my fear of being in front of the camera, no matter how uncomfortable the experience or the journey. And as a result, here's my statement for step number 1. To mentor future leaders at scale so they can drive the future of work in a positive direction. Set controllable goals. Now you have your why, but if you set goals you can't control, then you will fail at those goals, or you will fail at parts of them. You will give up. You'll feel even worse than you do right now. Here's 4 goals. Let's see if you can identify which ones are controllable goals. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want person X to like me. I want X% raise or promotion at my next annual company review coming up in a couple of months. I want to write in my journal on Sunday mornings. Which of these feel like they're within your control, and which of these have some factors which are like external control, maybe partially in your control, but more external? Can you see the difference? Only 2 of them are reasonably controllable. Let's take the first one. It feels like a common one, although if you ask my teenage sons, their goal would be to gain 10 pounds, preferably in the form of biceps. Now, for most individuals, this is a goal entirely within your control, and a goal I embarked on last year. My bigger what and why revolved around my own personal health. I didn't want to lose 10 pounds. I wanted specifically to lose 10 pounds of fat and without sacrificing muscle. And for me, it wasn't eat just less calories and possibly screw up my metabolism. No, I knew that I needed to change what I was eating. I knew I needed to change the quality of my food. Enter lifestyle change. I bought a 32-ounce bottle of, well, just a bottle, and then I filled it with water, and I hate drinking water. I add water flavor in to make it palatable. I know, possibly not the best decision when you're trying to have a healthier lifestyle. In terms of the food changes that I needed to make, that wasn't so clear. So here's what I did. For the first 3 weeks, I didn't change anything about my diet, but I did start logging in. I use the app My Net Diary, neither here nor there, but for me it's a great app because it makes it very easy for me to log what I eat, because I wasn't sure if I had a macros problem, a quality of food problem, a calorie problem, or some combination of all of the above. I needed to really understand what was it precisely that would benefit me the most to make a lifestyle change, what would work the best. And after those few weeks, I discovered that I lived on a high-fat diet with a lot of simple carbs thrown in. I adjusted a few meals a week. I tried to increase the quality of the carbs. I tried to lower the fat from kind of a high level to a moderate level. And I tried to increase the protein just a bit. Nothing too crazy, and all within my control. This is a simple matter of doing two things, and they're universal. They're not just for my example. So no matter what you have written down, I want you to capture these next 2 points. Increasing my awareness in an objective way. If you'll remember, I started logging what I was eating before I made any changes. And number 2, deciding what I was willing to adjust and adjusting it. Decide how you will measure your own progress. So you've got your what, your why, and at least one goal that's controllable. If I measure losing 10 pounds of fat by stepping on this scale, how will I know if it's accurate? The truth is I won't, because 10 pounds, I could be losing muscle, or I could be losing some fat and some muscle. So I know that that's not a good way. So I had to really think about how could I accurately know that I'm losing 10 pounds of fat and not some combination of fat and muscle, because the scale going down might be telling me a lie. I turned to, in my case, getting DEXA scans, because there's a full body scan and it checks how much lean muscle mass you have and how much fat you have. There was a level of accuracy, and layered in there's a level of accountability. All I needed to do was be better than the 4 weeks before. That was an incentive that was fairly short in duration in terms of measuring progress, and I could do it in a really clear, accountable, accurate way. Your way of measuring should be just as specific. How will you measure your goal? And if you're stuck on this, ask yourself, how will I know if I'm making progress? And this, my friends, keeps us going in the direction of our goals. And this is such an underrated motivator like no other. Chunking down. Chunking down is the final step. And all this really means is breaking your actions down into smaller bites. As the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So let's go back to my example about the DEXA scan. For me, this translated into 1 DEXA scan every month. And that meant every 4 weeks, I was accountable towards making progress. And all I needed to see was that I had less body fat than the 4 weeks before. Well, that was the measure. The smaller actions that I took were drink more water, validate to myself in an objective way what I was eating, and make small adjustments to my daily meals. I didn't jump straight into restricting calories or running 5 miles a day or lifting weights for 2 hours a day at the gym. That didn't make sense because I didn't know what I was trying to do beyond that I was trying to lose fat without losing muscle. I did not have objective awareness of what was necessarily causing me to gain weight or why I wasn't currently losing weight and at the spot that I wanted to be. So I needed to do that bit first. Those other actions, they would have been drastic and unsustainable. They wouldn't have worked in the long run. I wouldn't even have scratched the surface towards becoming a healthier human being in the long run. And that's what goes back to my what and why. Let's close out with this. These aren't earth-shattering new methods. They are structured and doable though. They're what's worked for me when I've applied them over and over again. And at the end of the day, that's the difference between hearing about doing something and actually doing something. You've got a full 1 page that will take you on the next leg of your journey, and do let me know how it goes. And if you found this video valuable, I would love if you would give the algorithm a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it.